Hello everybody, this is Mr. Oliver, and today I'll be doing a different sort of video. I don't really do top 5 or top 10 videos often, so I will be doing a top 5 favorite double O gauge Locos I own. So, yeah, I'm not really gonna limit, like, what I can do per railway, as my options are already limited, already, so I'm not gonna do like one per big four or whatever. I'm just gonna go with what I have, and yeah, most of the reasoning for this is either due to the Locos story or just because I like the Locos. So let's get into number 5. Number 5. So coming in at number 5, we have Smokey Joe. I don't own any Hornby 040s aside from this little fella, and that's just because Smokey Joe is all I want in a Hornby 040. Just an actual Loco that actually existed, that was actually accurate, looking at you, 040E2. It's also not an obscure class, I would say. Just excluding Smokey Joe, the 264 I still think is a known Loco. It has a real number. It doesn't have a real name, but Smokey Joe's a legend. It's been in the Hornby range for over 40 years, so you can't really diss the GOAT. Respect your elders, kids. In addition, I just think Smokey Joe would be a really fun Loco. I got mine off of Amazon, and there's a bit of a story with this one. I actually got my Smokey Joe the same day my friend got his Smokey Joe, Thomas Collector 5. If I remember, I'll put the link to his channel in the description. He got his Smokey Joe the same day I got my Smokey Joe. So yeah, I want to say his is it's the anniversary one, but it's still Smokey Joe. So yeah, in addition, Smokey Joe is just a nice low detail model, and yeah, so that is my reasoning for why Smokey Joe is number 5 on this list. Let's move on to number 4. Coming in at number 4. So coming in at number 4 is my Hornby 2008 Castle class. Now, I'll admit, I am spoiled, but with model trains, my parents know that they're expensive, so usually I have to buy them myself unless they are cheap enough or they are for a special occasion like birthday or get Christmas, or I worked my ass off for them. And that's the case with this fella. So, for context, I wanted a GWR 460, just any of them, and trains.com had this Hornby Castle class, and I found it on their eBay store, and, you know, it's a modern enough Loco, and it was like $100 after fees, something like that, so I'm satisfied with it. In addition, this castle is Bristol Castle, which early on in its life was named Windsor Castle before those two castles swapped names. So at one point in its life, this was named Windsor Castle, and I've been to Windsor Castle. And I've also seen the GWR Dean single replica, and I don't like that thing. Getting off topic here, this Loco is great. It has sprung buffers, it runs really nicely, it's modern. There's really nothing else more to say about this except it's a cute Loco. So yeah, On to number 3. Coming in at number 3. Taking the cake for the middle of the list is the Marsh Umber E2. Now, I originally wanted to put my original E2, the Southern Railway Black one, on this list, but I decided against it for 2 reasons. This one runs better, and this one has an extensive story. The other one, yes, it has a story, but this one has a story that spans about a year, or almost about half a year. So after I got the original E2, I'm going to shorten this up, as most of you have seen the video where I explained it in detail, but I'm just going to summarize this. So after I got my original E2, I wanted to get a better running one, and I also wanted to get every single LBSER Marsh Umber Loco that was ready to run. So there's 7 of them. So this was the best option to start with. So I got it in October. My mom was like, "Okay, I'll give it to you for Christmas." You know, it arrived. I thought it was my iBat 2MT, so I unboxed it. It ran great. I put it back in the box. Told my mother, "Hey, yeah, I'm not supposed to have this till Christmas." So, you know, I leave it on the dinner table. It's gone in a few days. So I think, oh yeah, she put it up with she put it upstairs with her other gifts, right? Yeah, it turns out yeah, that went to our storage room, and Christmas came. It was not under the tree, and waited about a month afterwards, and just find it after my parents cleaned the storage room. So great. Moving on to number 2, and I think this Loco has the greatest story out of these 5 Locos. Coming in at number 2. So here we have the number 2 Loco, which is my Hornby King class, but more specifically 6028 King Henry II. Now, this has the greatest story out of all of these Locos on the list. After the events of Oliver's Adventures Episode 2, when I went to Portland, Oregon, we stop at a train store, okay? I looked around for, I want to say, around 20 minutes, and then I get to the glass case, and I see this beauty. Now, basically, what had happened was, I went over there, I asked to take a look at it, and I take a look at it, and the price was $45, but it ran rough. So, I decided to pass on it. And I want to say 2 weeks afterwards, we went back to Portland. And I went there for a couple of reasons. I wanted to experience Amtrak, I wanted to go to Raising Cane's, but I also wanted to take another trip to that train store. I wanted to see if they got more British Locos. And, yeah, that story doesn't end there. We actually went to the wrong train store. And, so yeah, we went to 2 that day. And we cut it close. We went to the correct one, like 30 minutes before our train. We caught the train, don't worry. It was delayed anyways. And, you know, I looked around for, this time, like, a quarter of the time less, so like 5 minutes. Yeah, this fellow was the only thing left. It was still there. So I bought it. So, yeah, that's King Henry III for you. Or, not the 3rd, the 2nd. I'm really happy with this Loco. It doesn't run the best, and also the, shell, it's not fitted correctly to the chassis, so I'll have to fix that, but, yeah, moving on to number 1. My collection is a bit small, and I don't think honorable mentions are needed. Coming in at number 1. My Bachmann C-Class is my favorite Loco in the collection. The story with this one is basically what happened is I wanted a freight Loco. I was getting more trucks, and I wanted a pure freight Loco. Not mixed traffic, not a shunter, just a straight up freight Loco. I looked on eBay for a little while, and I found this Goober, right? And, you know, at first I thought this is perfect, I'll save up for it, but afterwards, I wanted to get a mixed traffic Loco because I had a lot of coaches, so I ended up passing on the C-Class, and as I did, the amount of watchers grew and grew, so I bought the Black 5 instead. But we did some games on New Year to earn money, and turns out I got enough money to buy this, and have enough for the train show. So then, by the time I was reinterested in this, it had 49 watchers. Almost 50. The buffers are sprung, by the way. It's cool. So, in addition, I also wanted a double O gauge Loco that was not Hornby, as all of my Locos aside from this are Hornby. I've had good experiences with the Bachmann Thomas Loco, so I figured why not try a Bachmann branch line Loco. And that decision was a great decision. So yes. So that, my friends, is my countdown of my favorite double O gauge Locos I own. And yeah, I'm a fan of most of them I own. So yeah, these are just the ones that I initially thought of, and after some consideration, I just decided to go with them, as my collection is a bit small, so I didn't really see a reason. Like, the thing is, all my other Locos, there's something about them that made them not fit for the list. Like, for example, my other E2 has a broken crank pin, and doesn't run as well. My Schools Class and D49 are tender driven. Yeah, that stuff. All of that jazz. So, yeah, these were just the best picks, I think. Yeah, I'm happy to have all my Locos, though, so I will see you all in the next video. Thank you all for watching, and let me know if you would like to see more videos, more top 5, top 10, that type of stuff. So, yeah, thank you all for watching. So, I know I said this would be the end of this video, but while picking up all the Locos and putting them back on the shelf, I found the crank pin to the other E2. And, yeah, prior, my friend said super glue might work, so I tried super glue and it did not work. It fixed the issue for about a third of a second, but the E2 is fixed, and it runs perfectly. So, yeah, me and my father fixed it. So, yeah, yeah, the E2 is now back in town, both of them. So, yeah, take back a bit of what I said earlier about why this E2 was not on the list. I still probably wouldn't have put it on the list, but I would probably put it as an honorable mention. So, yeah, that will be it.